What's going on, LEGO fans? Welcome back. Alex here. In this video, we'll be building and placing the LEGO Ideas Treehouse. This is the largest Ideas LEGO set to date, which has 3,036 pieces. So in the 3,000 piece range, in my opinion, is quite significant. The LEGO Group continues its push of saying botanical elements are made from plants, so I guess it's safe to say that some plants were harmed in the making of this set. When this came out a few months ago, it caught my eye really easy. It was very different. It's very visually striking, and that's what I love about the LEGO Ideas line, or theme. I don't know if you can call it a theme or not, but these are great ideas that are coming from LEGO fans such as you and myself, of things that we would love to see in our collections, see displayed in our cities, on a shelf in our room. These days, the LEGO Group has so many licensed products. For example, you have Disney and Marvel that take a lot of the resources of the LEGO Group as far as what they produce every year. Not that that's a bad thing. You guys know I have a lot of Star Wars sets and I have a lot of Marvel sets and so forth that are fun, and they offer a lot of great playability. But what I'm talking about is the originality of themes. Like in the early 90s or late 90s, they had a lot of great stuff that were, different themes, space themes, pirate themes, castle themes, things like that were just so fun to collect and offered a lot of playability, except for these days it just seems more restricted to what's popular out in the world, which isn't a bad thing. You sell what's popular, but that's why I love the LEGO Ideas theme, because it places, it kind of gets back to the originality of LEGO sets that we love seeing. Well, let's go ahead and get this guy built and find a good spot for it in the city downstairs. All right, the treehouse is done, and I do apologize. My battery died while I was finishing up the build, so sorry about that. It's the way it goes sometimes, but that's okay, because it was my least favorite part of the build, which was building all of these tree elements, or the leaf elements rather, at the very top. Got a little bit tedious, but other than that, it was a very fun set to build. You see down here all the extra elements for the foliage. As we see, you can create all of the different seasons with this tree. I elected to go with the typical summer look, which is the classic green. Down here, do want to point out the instruction booklet because this thing is so thick and really big book, heavy too. At the very beginning here, I want to show the. I'm American, so I'm going to look at the English section here, guys. So here is the creator, and in this image here, I just want to point out, it looks like that is the original design that he came up with. Now, I don't remember seeing this on the Ideas website, but as it always goes with Ideas sets, you have the creator's version and then the final version from the Lego group, which is what you see here. In this case, we're very fortunate because it still turned out to be a really nice looking set. Now, I know this is not a new set, it's been out a few months, so I'll be brief in my review, but there's some things that I do want to point out, and that is just the overall playability of this set. It is so much fun. I can give this over to the kids, and they can have so endless fun with this thing because you have rooms up here. Even at the base, there's so much detail going on and things to enjoy. I love this picnic bench here. Even have a, let me move this person here, but I don't have a pumpkin. This is my first pumpkin I've ever had in my collection, so that was exciting for me anyway. And love that they have this little bonfire. I would call it a bonfire actually, but just a fire with some sticks there, some mushrooms over here. Now this little stream going through, this is going to be a bit of a challenge, I think, on how to acclimate this to the city downstairs. I'll have to get a little creative. But going all the way around it here, you have a little swing. I also like how there's a few of these lanterns hanging from these leaves around it. Here's one right here as well, and I think there's one over here, yeah, just hanging from the banister there. And I thought there was, oh, yep, there it is. There's another one right there. So I thought it was really cool. They didn't need to do that, but I think that's really a nice touch to have that there. To access the interior, we're going to grab the top of the tree here and just pull straight up. Boop. And that's going to remove this whole entire upper section here. Very nicely built. Place that over there. And now we have this kind of resort-looking feel to it at the very top. And to access these rooms, we just take off these the roof of each room. And that allows us to see what's going on inside. To access the rooms, our brave minifigures go up this very scary staircase up to our first room, and here is the doorway to it. This is what I would call the master bedroom, I guess. Has your bed, it has a vanity, a chest of drawers, and a lot of other things that really make it feel like it's a cabin in the woods. And in fact, it makes you want to be a minifigure and be able to just go in there and stay the night or even longer. In order to access the next section, the minifigure would actually have to walk around the banister area, which there's not a lot of space, maybe just one stud in its entirety, or you can go between the room and the tree trunk to get to this next place, which also you have to walk around at, I guess, the tree trunk there on the inside. And get to the door right here. Each room just has one door. So here's the door to what is obviously the bathroom. So now the bathroom is pretty cool looking. I like it. It's got everything you'd expect to see in a modern day bathroom, but just not quite as modern. You got a big tub for the a wooden tub for the bath, and I think it's the toilet that concerns me a little bit the most. I mean, obviously there's water in this. But it's brown, indicating that the seat, the toilet seat, is wood. So I guess if you're sitting on that, don't make any sudden movements. You might get a splinter. But everything else is really cool here. I think there's even soap. You got a comb, maybe some product in there, and some. Of course, you have this water over here in this barrel that, of course, looks like feeds into the bath water and potentially the sink and toilet as well. The treehouse also has a crane right outside of the bathroom, and this is a treehouse that definitely needs the crane because there's no way I'm going to be carrying a very heavy suitcase up those very treacherous stairs on the other side. So definitely want to put all your supplies in here, all your food, as it twists around violently there. Definitely for supplies and food, not for minifigures. But a little bit of functionality here with the crane itself, not too much. But definitely a good feature to have in your large treehouse. So from the bathroom, we go on to the final room, and to get to the final room is the funnest part, I think, of the treehouse, and that's this bridge that takes you from the bathroom up into the final room that we have up here. And when you get to the final room, you have to walk, of course, on the exterior here to this really fancy-looking deck that has this really cool golden-looking telescope on it, and then you get to access what is obviously the kids' bedroom. Now, I call it the kids' bedroom because there's bunk beds. I mean, I like bunk beds, so I would be all about staying in this room here, especially because it's the highest of the three. But this one is kind of fun. It's got this, this book right here. I think if you were to open this, I've got just one hand doing it here. Here we go. It says Once Upon a Time. Aw, cute fairy tale going on there. But fun stuff in here. You got, I think, a microscope, and you got a flower inside of a, you know what, I wonder if that's some sort of Beauty and the Beast reference. I don't really know. Let me know what you guys think on that. But a smaller chest of drawers, as well as it looks like a birdhouse that they're making of some type. Very cool accommodations, and that is, of course, if you're a kid and you got to get out of the treehouse, you got to go all the way around the tree back to here. So if you're in this room, you're going from this point right here all the way around to here, back down. So that's quite a ways to walk around. However, if you're a kid, I don't think you mind making that trip, even if you're an adult, because it looks like it's pretty fun. That is, of course, if you don't have a fear of heights. All right, guys, well, now comes the tricky part of finding a spot in the city. This is unlike any other set that I placed in the city, so this should be very interesting. So I'm going to go downstairs and see what we can figure out. Alrighty, guys, here we are downstairs, and here is where I placed the treehouse. No surprise, this is exactly where I said I was going to put it in a previous video, which is here in Camp Jimmy. My biggest concern was it going to be so large that it just looked really out of place, especially next to my pitiful little mountain here. But you know what? I think it looks okay. I think this is going to work, and of course with the understanding that my big rock will eventually evolve into a larger type mountain and be a little bit more sizable, because as it stands right now, yeah, the tree house is definitely going to be significantly taller than the rock. Like, let's say here you're climbing the tree and you walked out, you're looking down on the mountain, especially with those ruins there on the top. Now, I will say that this really is the best place for the treehouse. There's actually nowhere else in my city that you could put something like this and not have it stick out like a sore thumb, right? So it works out really well here in the campground and in Camp Jimmy. And this is something that is a rental, so it's already pretty much sold out for the first few months at least. Down here, you'll notice that I'll have to connect the creek. I just slapped this thing down. But I'll have to kind of do some modifications around it to make it more assimilated into its environment here. But I'm thinking I can just connect it here to this river. The colors are very, very similar, so that shouldn't be too much of a challenge. And then I'll just have it drop off the side here on the other end. Now, this isn't the only treehouse in Camp Jimmy. We got this little guy over here that I just built. That is a set, 31010, I think is what it's called. A little creator set that I got from somebody. Missing a lot of pieces, but we made it work with what we had. But I still think this is going to be the more popular treehouse in the camp. All right, guys, I think that is it for now on this set. I don't think I mentioned this before, but this costs $200, so it is definitely on the pricier side of the Lego Ideas line, but definitely worth the money, I think. There's a lot of playability here, and you have to factor that in. This isn't like a large UCS Star Wars set where it costs hundreds of dollars and then it sits on a shelf gathering dust. I mean, it will still gather dust, but it's definitely a nice feature to have in the city. Obviously, I don't like that it's at the very, very corner of the whole entire city. It'd be nice to have it like in the middle somewhere. I think it'd be kind of cool. Maybe I acclimate it that way somewhere in the future, but for now, that's just how it's going to have to work. All right. Okay, thanks guys again for watching this thing, and we'll have some more fun stuff here from the city here soon. Until then, you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.